No, he pulled his pistol. He used to carry a 44 Magnum.
So y'all did this like a military operation?
Yes.
This wasn't your first rodeo?
No, it wasn't my first rodeo. So he put the house on arrest, but it was the girl's sister was still there. And everybody was deadly scared of Larry. Larry was just terrible. But anyway, when the sister saw Larry, she shot him. When I heard the gun, out of fear, when I heard the gunshot, I knew that gunshot wasn't a 44, because when that 44 go off, it spits fire out and it's so loud. So when I saw that, I pulled my gun and I went back there looking. And when I eased back there, the girl told me, get on before I shoot you too. So when she said that, out of instinct, I pulled my pistol and I fired. I hit the girl, and I'm glad I didn't kill her. But I hit the girl because I had them splitting bullets. You know, we had a guy to make our bullets. We had the splitting bullet. Girl fell.
Well, you got your own bullets made.
Yeah, we had a guy to put the little nitro in them and put BBs. And my gun was different than Larry's gun. Larry's gun knocked you down with that 44. So, but the girl fell. So after the girl fell, I went around the corner, took my bulletproof vest off, and took the gun. I shot with it. I put it at the end of the sofa, and I called 911. And when 911 came, when 911 came, they came into the house. The girl jumped up with blood all over, jumped up and said, he tried to kill me. The police threw down on me. They threw down on me and said, where the gun? And they arrested me, on it.
And what happened with that case?
So with that case, Inspector Hill was the
Gil Hill.
Gil Hill was the inspector of homicide. He looked over. He came to the bullpen where I was, and he looked over and he said, "Well, I see your family on the other side now." But after I talked to Mann and told him what happened.
That's your attorney.
My attorney, Robert Mann, told him what happened. He said, "Well, if Mr. Davis is telling the truth about what happened, and we're gonna call that self-defense. But his story got to jail. That girl got to say exactly the same thing that man was telling Gilbert Hill."
Technically, I mean, you guys were kidnapping them, in the sense, if you go over there to collect their debt, if you pull out a gun and say, no one leave till so and so gets here, I mean, that's kidnapping.
It is. But anyway, I got out of that. Thank God I got out of that situation.
But it's interesting. I mean, you had the thinking on your feet and the morals to, even though you out over there get some money, street activities, the girl pulled out, you shot her. Your cousin was already dead.
Right, he was dead already, but I wasn't leaving him.
911.
I wasn't leaving my cousin.
For both of them.
Yeah, I wasn't leaving my cousin.
You called 911 for both of them.
But yes, I did.
Knowing that,
I get arrested.
Yep.
And everybody thought I was stupid for doing it. I said, no, that's the thing to do. I waited there when 911 came, and I got arrested, and thank God I got out of it.
So the difference, people mistake criminals and outlaws for gangsters.
Mm-hmm.
A gangster is gangster.
Someone has some compassion.
And gangsters are part of society.
Right.
They make up their own laws.
Right.
And create their own world, sometimes where the government is weak.
That's right. And we had our own little rules for everything. One rule was, if I'd been in the house 45 minutes without calling him, he would come see-bomb me. And if it was a girl, if I had a girl with me, if someone come to the car and tell the girl to come into the house, she's supposed to take off and go get help.
And
that was one of our rules that we was taught by my uncle now. The streets are the codes of the streets. We used to pick up about $1 million.
From Seal.
From Seal or wherever he designate one of my people to go get the money.
So Seal alone.
But this time I was going to see Seal about that and maybe some other business. And just so happened I was going to pick up the money that day.
If you're from Detroit, I'm sure you're familiar with Young Boys Incorporated, YBI, and another group from that same era, Pony Down. Now, Pony Down and YBI were made out by the newspapers and street gossip to be at odds with each other which they were at the street level, but when you find out more, the story's a little different. Turns out both groups were working out of the same bag, as they say most of the time, and most of that time, that same bag was from the Davis brothers. Now here's a quick story about that one time when Doc Davis went down to the Jeffersonian apartments to pick up about $700,000 from Sylvester Seal Murray, main supplier to YBI, who himself was considered to be perhaps the largest H dealer in the entire Midwest by federal law enforcement, as at the time they didn't even know of Davis Brothers' work.
And the only person I knew was Seal of the YBI. I didn't know Butch Jones, all the underlings. I didn't know them at all. And just one day, I was going by the Jeffersonian. He had a apartment in the Jeffersonian. It was a high-rise, very nice apartment building on Jefferson near downtown Detroit. And as I was going up the elevator, I sensed, and my gut felt.
When you say very nice, this is where maybe a high-ranking Ford executive,
right, lawyers, judges, and all that would be. It was
the place.
It was the place, the Jeffersonian.
And he was on one of the top floors.
He was on one of the top floors. Yes, he was. And I was going up there to pick up some money.
How much money?
Maybe I think it was about $700,000, if my memory don't fail me. I think it was about $700,000.
And how often would you pick up those volumes of money from someone like Seal? Once a week?
But once a week, we used to, like I said, we used to pick up about $1 million
from Seal.
From Seal or wherever he designate one of my people to go get the money.
So Seal alone.
But this time I was going to see Seal about that and maybe some other business. And it just so happened I was going to pick up the money that day. And just so happened it was a raid taking in place. They just missed me being there, sitting there in there for maybe seconds.
You were really the guy.
Right, right. That was the man then.
The Jeffersonian raid didn't result in Seal Murray's arrest just yet. Seal wasn't in the apartment. Perhaps he had the same bad feeling Doc did. Seal's associate was seen jumping from balcony to balcony on the 27th level, and I guess he was taken into custody. And in that guy's apartment, there was about a half a pound of H found that was 71% purity, and the DEA chemist at the time testified that out of 500 samples he had processed in his career, less than 20 had been that strong. And that's what was in Seal's apartment. Presumably he got it from Doc Davis. Now there was about $800,000 in cash seized from Seal's apartment and the other guy's apartment at the time, and the DEA said, circa 1982 when this happened, that was the largest cash seizure they had ever made.
Yeah, it was in the news. It was in the news. I don't know how much money was in the apartment, but I know at least that 700 was in there because I was coming by there to pick that up. So I don't know what he had in there, but my gut feeling said something was wrong, and I just turned around and went back down the elevator and went on and escaped.
So if the feds are doing this big raid, or the Joint Task Force are doing this big raid, they must have had a bunch of people around. It wasn't suspicious that you get out of a car, go up, go down. Didn't they track you? So you weren't on the radar. They didn't know.
No, I wasn't on the radar then.
They didn't know you were Seal Supply.
Right. They didn't know I was Seal Supply. And the Jeffersonian is a very large apartment building. It was a big high rise. I mean, they would have to have agents all around. I would slip right past them because they would have thought I was just a young kid. So I missed that. Yeah, I missed that.
Kurt McGirt was alleged to be a 16-year-old hitman for one of the Davis's customers, the infamous YBI, Young Boys Incorporated drug ring. What age did you get involved with YBI, and how did that happen?
Probably about 13, 14.
And how did somebody approach you? Or?
Well, he seen me out here doing other things, and he said, look, man, that ain't it. Come and go with me.
Before the first indictment of Young Boys, Detroit was second only to New York for the consumption of heroin, and they literally took over. That was the precursor for street sales in the United States. It originated here in Detroit.
7 o'clock on a warm evening in March, and you are riding in a caravan of unmarked police cars about to raid what they call a major distribution outlet of heroin in the Brewster housing project. Police tell me some of the heroin would be sold to other drug dealers in the project, and some would be given to kids to sell on the street. The place, police say, is a suspected dope house in the Young Boys Incorporated network.
Well, my father, he was an intern extra decorator and he had his own contracting company. We moved here in 1963. We was a few blacks that lived here.
How many bedrooms?
It's 5 bedrooms, it's 3 levels, it's 3 kitchens.
So did YBI go and take over corners, or were you just
No, we didn't. You don't take over corners. You don't do that. It's like taking over something. That's not what a person do. That's not what we did. We don't do that.
Okay, we're here on the corner of Selden and Gibson, and back circa 1980, 81 or so, in the wintertime like we are now, there were 22 shootings in just a period of about 2 weeks, just right on this intersection. And why was that? Well, today there's new developments around here. This has all gone up. New casino down the street, but this was the infamous Jeffries public housing project. Been torn down and replaced. But back then, it was one of Detroit's most valuable drug properties, and YBI and Pony Down and others were shooting each other over who got to sell. They were shooting customers if they bought from the wrong people, and Doc Davis and his brothers were supplying both Pony Down and YBI.
Arrest 16 people all at one time over in the Jeffries Projects. 15 minutes after we take them downtown, there's another 25 or 30 runners out there dealing dope. That doesn't sound like we're winning to me.
And one of those that was shot was one of my cousins, Larry Revels, was shot in the phone booth right over here, about a block over. He got shot here with a shotgun, but he lived. Beefing with some of the guys in the Jeffrey Projects.
What was Larry doing? Was he selling?
No, Larry was one of my goons. And he was looking for somebody that owed money over in this area, and they caught him. They got him before he got to them, and he shot him up with a shotgun in the phone booth while he was on the phone talking to me.
Now, you were never convicted in any of your cases of any violence.
No, absolutely not.
But, and we're going to practice the fine art of saying less, but to maneuver in the streets of America's most dangerous cities, let's just say the Davis family could be very dangerous if need be.
That's right. This is one of the second strongholds for the drugs during that time, besides John Island, Erskine, and Dexter and other places that the YBI and the Pony was involved in.
How much a day would come out of just a place like this?
It's about the same thing, about 100,000 a day with all the different groups that would be down here.
Just come and post up like anybody else.
And you wouldn't be the only guys out on the block.
No, we wouldn't be the only ones out here posted up.
And it was what, best bag wins? The customers bought what they wanted?
No. Yeah, pretty much.
Whoever had the best drugs ruled. And we were supplying YBI and Pony. Yeah, well, we would mix the stuff out of Amsterdam, which is number 3, the stuff out of Bangkok, which is number 4. You know,
number 4 means more highly refined.
Number 4 is the best it comes. It's 97.4 pure number 4. You call it number 4. It comes from the Golden Triangle. Then you got number 3 that comes from Turkey and Pakistan and them areas around there, which is more crude.
2 in the afternoon at Woodrow Wilson and Cortlandt on Detroit's west side. Watch the teenager in the blue jacket as he approaches the car, throws a signal by holding up 2 fingers, and finally waves the car in. A moment later, a second youngster approaches the car and apparently makes a delivery. The car drives away, and the teenager in the blue jacket passes the money he's received to the runner who made the delivery.
We would mix the 2, and once you mix your 2, you'll have something with a strong hit, which would be the number 3, and the high and the whole would be number 4. So once you had that, you would lock the city down.